Hi everyone, Dr. Marco. Here's your weekly health tip. So this week is actually just an addendum to last time because I got talking on the anti-nutrients in certain foods like phytates, oxalates, saponins, and lectins. I didn't talk about them much, but these are all different things that are inside seeds or nuts or certain vegetation that's sort of a protective thing. It's kind of protecting them from being overeaten. So like if an insect is eating all this stuff, the insect is probably going to get bloated and die, that kind of thing. It can't overeat the vegetation. So obviously we're a lot bigger than insects, so we can handle a lot more of it than they can. But I got on the big topic of the phytates and the oxalates, and I was saying the best way to kind of decrease those in the foods would be to sprout them. So I got talking with the nuts and the seeds and sprouting everything, but I kind of forgot to mention the more important thing about the leafy greens that have this problem. So beet greens and spinach are pretty big ones in these anti-nutrients. And so if somebody's having like a spinach salad every day, 7 days a week sort of thing, that can be a pretty big problem and actually, maybe causing some nutrient deficiencies and things like that. So you're going to want to be rotating the greens. So obviously, put in arugula and some, other kind of leafy greens that are different than kale, for example. Beet greens, that's a pretty big one. Most people don't eat that too much, but spinach is a pretty big thing. So one of the best ways to kind of decrease that sort of impact is to blanch them or to steam them or boil. So spinach is actually not a bad thing if you can heat it up. Don't fry it, but just put it in water, boiling water for like 1 minute, or steam it for maybe 3 or 4 minutes. You can do the same with broccoli, cabbage, kale, cauliflower, those kind of things. So like a 1 minute boil, get the water boiling, put it in for 1 minute. And even if you're making shakes with spinach, I would actually do that if you have certain problems. If you're using it a lot, then I would actually tell you to do that. It may seem kind of strange, but it'll make it less pulling out nutrients and it'll be more bioavailable for you. Some people say that'll destroy the enzyme, so there's a bit of a give and take with all of this stuff. So just kind of moderating things and cycling things through is the best idea. And for example, let's say you're eating, you have a tendency to want to munch on cauliflower or broccoli. It's okay to eat that raw because you get the roughage and those kind of things. But one way to kind of pre-digest it a little bit, even if you want to eat it kind of raw without cooking it, maybe like a metal bowl or a bowl of some sort. Put in maybe like a tablespoon of Bragg's organic apple cider vinegar, and then put the pieces of broccoli and cauliflower in there, and then mix them around so they kind of get lightly covered with the apple cider vinegar, and that will help to sort of partially digest the really hard sort of fibers and things like that to make it a little more bioavailable for you. So that's another way you can kind of decrease the load on this stuff. Some of these ones aren't that easy. Quinoa, it's a good grain, it's a good sort of a rice substitute, but it has some of these saponins in it, and that's kind of hard to get rid of those. And so just cycling through these things and just trying not to eat the same thing all the time is one of the bigger factors you can do to kind of decrease the load of this stuff, but still get the the benefits of those foods. Because in the end, they're all kind of beneficial. They have a lot of good fiber, nutrients, and minerals, and all that kind of stuff. So we just kind of have to rotate how we're eating it, so we're not always. Because one thing across the board here, soy products, you're going to want to totally avoid all that because they're pretty much hitting all of these things. Certain beans, kidney beans, and that kind of stuff. Chickpeas sometimes in some of these too, but globally, if you're doing like the fermenting will help decrease this kind of load, the sprouting and the other things that I mentioned last week. But that's kind of the big picture that I want to get in this week. So that's a pretty brief one. So that's your health tip for this week. So do some of the pre-digesting or trying to take the load out of these so you'll get more nutrition out of the food that you're actually eating, and hopefully you're eating the healthiest food you can for the healthiest life. So if this video was helpful, please share it, and we'll see you next time. Bye.